All right, we're going to go here for Boal's Bracket right here. I've got everything encapsulated right up here. This is a steel trap. I have all the information, all the analytics. You believe that? You're really crazy. I got some land for you in Florida somewhere in a swamp. Let me tell you something, folks. Here we go. I got all right here in this piece of paper. Like everybody else, I just guess. Okay, we're going to start at the top. We're going to move right down. University of North Carolina, no problem with Florida Gulf Coast, although, remember, Florida Gulf Coast got some people's attention just a year or so ago. Providence will take care of USC at that point. Indiana over Chattanooga, which is going to set up an incredible game against the University of Kentucky because these two refuse to schedule one another. It's another little bit of sense of humor for the NCAA committee. Michigan-Tulsa, winner against Notre Dame. We're going to take Notre Dame right there. And right underneath there, they're going to end up facing West Virginia from the Big 12. West Virginia is going to make a run, folks. Wisconsin-Pittsburgh, going to take a little upset there. Take Pitt, and then I'm going to take the X to play Pitt in that next game. Number 1 seed, Virginia, over Hampton. Butler will take care of Texas Tech. They're 9 seed against the 8 seed. Purdue will beat Arkansas Little Rock, and they will face another team I think is going to make a deep run. Iowa State will beat Iona. Seton Hall and Gonzaga. At that, we're going to take Gonzaga. They always have lots of NCAA experience. Utah Utes over Fresno State at that point. Dayton and Syracuse is going to give Syracuse a little edge here. I think they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder because everybody said they do not belong in the tournament after all the problems with Jim Boeheim and the head coach and the whole thing. And then Michigan State, they'll go up against Michigan State, so you know Syracuse won't last long. We'll stay on this side. We've got UNC, University of North Carolina, will beat Providence. That will set up this game between Kentucky and Indiana. That's going to be a heck of a basketball game. I'm going to take Kentucky Wildcats. Tyler Ulis is back. Notre Dame, West Virginia. I said West Virginia is going to make a run. They're going to beat Notre Dame at that point. Pittsburgh and the X will take Xavier, beating Pittsburgh. And then we go Virginia and Butler. UVA will win that game, and they will end up facing Iowa State. I said they were going to make a run. They certainly are at that point. Utah and Gonzaga. Gonzaga's luck will finally run out. They will be gone, so I think the Utes will win that game. Then Michigan State, one of the best teams in the NCAAs. I don't know why they are not a number 1 pick. Once again, we're going to stay over here. We're going to knock out our first number 1 seed. Kentucky will beat North Carolina. They will move on at that point. And West Virginia is going to beat Xavier. That's going to set up a heck of a game there. Virginia and Iowa State. I said the Cyclones are going to make a run. They beat Virginia at that point. They will move on as we speak. Utah against Michigan State, and Michigan State will beat Utah and face that matchup will be good one, Iowa State and Michigan State. Kentucky and West Virginia. West Virginia's run ends at that point. John Calipari just always has too much. They will advance, and then Michigan State will end up meeting the University of Kentucky in that basketball game. The winner, that is one of the 2 Final Four teams as they move on. Like I said, number 1, North Carolina, gets knocked out at that point. Okay, let's start at the top here. We'll go to University of Kansas. No problem against Austin Peay. They will meet the winner of the Colorado-UConn game. And I like UConn in this basketball game. I'll take them, even though Colorado does have some nice pieces. Tad Boyle, Colorado's head coach, is a former University of Kansas basketball player. Maryland will beat South Dakota State, and California will take care of Hawaii. It'll be Wichita State over Arizona. Miami will beat Buffalo at that point. And as we move on down, we've got the Temple and Iowa game at this point. We'll take the University of Iowa. And then, of course, my alma mater, Villanova, the number 2 seed in that region, will beat University of North Carolina. Asheville, moving on down. Oregon will beat Holy Cross. Cincinnati will beat St. Joe. And then we'll go Baylor, Yale. Yale will slow the ball down. Baylor has too many athletes. I still think they'll win, but that's going to be a very close basketball game. Duke over the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. It'll be Texas barely over the University of Northern Iowa because I want to see this next matchup. Texas A&M against the Green Bay Phoenix. Oregon State and VCU. We're going to take Oregon State at that point and at the bottom of the bracket, but certainly not the bottom team. number 2 seed Oklahoma is going to be a very, very tough out. As we move along, Kansas will take care of UConn. They will move on. This was the toughest game I had to pick. I've changed this pick 10 times. I'm going to take California to face Kansas at that point. We'll get back to that matchup in a minute. Wichita State and Miami. I think Miami has too much guard play for Wichita State. I think they're going to win there. Villanova, no problem. They will take care of the University of Iowa. Then we go Cincinnati and Oregon. We're going to have Oregon move on one more time. And then we're going to go down here to Baylor and Duke. Duke will have too much for Baylor. They will move on. Texas A&M and Texas. Once again, I had some trouble. I changed this 3 or 4 times. I'm going to go with Texas, and I'm going to go with them playing Oklahoma. We'll get a Big 12 matchup at that point. And from that point on, California will take care of Kansas and knock them out as a number 1 seed. Oh, you Kansas fans hate that one, I know. And, of course, who else would advance but Villanova, the number 2 seed, with a chance to go to the Final Four. Then we move down here. Duke will beat Oregon. Another number 1 seed goes down. Okay, so that's where we're going at that point. There are no number 1 seeds left. And at this point, I will take the University of Oklahoma to go up against the Dukies. So what do we have here? Villanova against California and their 3 pros. Of course, Villanova advances to the Final Four for the first time since 2006. And Duke and Oklahoma. Duke will end up taking care of the Sooners. So it'll be Villanova, a 2 seed, against Duke, a 4 seed. Kentucky, a 4 seed, against Michigan State, a 2 seed. It'll be Kentucky over Michigan State. It'll be Villanova over Duke. And I am just so easy to figure out as we move to the Final Four. V for Villanova will win their first national championship since 1985. How do we pick these things? It's not analytics. Hey, I'm biased. I went to school there. How else would you pick these things? Have fun.